Hey there, YouTube. You're our last channel. I just need a few more minutes to finish getting set up, and then we're going to get started.
You know.
Oh,
yeah.
And the sales
So,
tax?
the what? Yeah. Yeah. Like you're gonna put it up.
Bear with me just a minute. Just getting us set up here on Facebook. One more moment. All right, everyone who is around, please no profanity. We are on the air. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Carmelo Chimera from Chimera's Comics, and here today for a lot of good reasons, but the timing is because it's the grand finale of the comic shop giveaway. So for the 3 people out there who haven't heard, I am giving away Chimera's Comics Oaklawn in an essay contest. There is a $25 application fee and an essay of 500 words or less to answer the question, what makes a great comic book store? I am cutting off the applications tonight at midnight, so you have to get your application in before midnight if you want to be selected. I will read every essay, and based completely on merit, I will choose a winner and give them the store for free. That means the inventory, the fixtures, the equipment, the software, and the associated 6 years of goodwill that come with it. It's all yours. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. I have addressed a lot of those questions already. We did a live stream early on. I had my announcement. I have a frequently asked questions on the website. I did a Reddit AMA. I've tried to get back to the thousands of comments and emails I've gotten. I've been on several news networks talking about it. I found out today I was in Time Magazine. That's cool. So I'm not going to go over some of that same ground again. I think I've been pretty transparent about everything. I will answer those questions, but I'm not going to do that spiel again. So we're going to do a couple things tonight. I'm going to give you a tour of the store in case you couldn't make the open house that we did here live. I'm going to tell you how to get free tickets to our opening weekend private screening of Avengers Endgame. I'm going to show you, for our fans over at Kickstarter, we've got all our rewards in and ready to go for this weekend from our summer Kickstarter campaign. So we will have those ready for you in just a few minutes. I'd like to show you what we've got for you. You look like you've been reading. Thanks, Aaron. I can always count on you to be so nice to me. Yeah, no, it's been a long month and I'm very tired, but it's just been so exciting, and I've gotten so many wonderful messages from folks telling me how inspired they are and how this gave them a chance to dream big. I hope to include a lot of those messages in the book I wrote about this experience. If you look in the comment, I am writing a book as we speak about this whole crazy nonsense. I'm going to talk about why I did it. I'm going to talk about the hate mail I got. I'm going to talk about the inspirational things I've heard from people. But most of all, I want to talk about what is holding all of us back and maybe how I thought I might be able to do something about that a little bit, and how I'd like for you all to consider to live your life a little bit more about dreams and a little bit less about fear. I'm going to try to address all of your comments as well. I'll be bouncing back and forth between Kickstarter, YouTube, and Facebook. So first things first, for those of you with us on Kickstarter, I know you've been very patient with us. I want to say a couple of words about this. We ran our Kickstarter back in the summer, and we promised we'd have the rewards in about 3 months. It's taken me about twice that long, and I'm very, very sorry about that. 9% of Kickstarters never fulfill ever. That is never going to happen with us. We love our Kickstarter community. We love what it's let us do. And I have many more awesome projects that I think Kickstarter is going to love. That only works if you deliver what you promise. Magnificent was 2 years late. That was because the book wasn't done when we started, and that's never going to happen again. This was late because I have so many different types of rewards I needed to source from different vendors, and I underestimated that. And then in the middle, we moved Chimera's Comics LaGrange, and I ran the Cellar Door Kickstarter, so I totally did this poorly. That's part of the reason I'm giving away the Oak Lawn store, is because I'm spread way too thin, and I'm not doing as good a job as I could be doing at any of these things. And that includes getting people your Kickstarter rewards. So first of all, here's the t-shirt you were promised. I'll stand up a little bit. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I love the colors. Came out real nice, just the way I wanted. So we've got these t-shirts in stock here. And if you missed out on the Kickstarter, this stuff will be available on our website and in our stores after the backers get their rewards. Then we have this awesome drawstring backpack, which is great for conventions because it cinches. We did this when we first opened. We had these and we gave these away in a contest, and it was our most popular promotional item ever. I'm very excited about that. Also, the stores are going green. In the next month, we're going to roll out a new program. Bags, we're going to do like the cities do that regulate this. Bags are going to be 8 cents a bag, or we're going to have these reusable totes for you in the store, and these are magazine size, so these will fit comic books perfectly in them without too much room to slide around as well. What else do I have in my little Mary Poppins goodie bag for you? I have the Chimera's Comics reusable aluminum water bottle, so you can take that to conventions with you too and stay hydrated. Again, those of you on Facebook or YouTube, I'm not just trying to sell you crap. Our Kickstarter folks were very patient and pledged a good deal of money to help us make these great things, and they've been waiting a long time to see them, so I'd like to show them. We have our hats. I think these hats are super cool because they're super lightweight. They have an adjustable bill. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not much of a hat guy. You're never really going to see me walking around with a baseball cap. Probably because my hair is so good, but once it starts to gray, that might change. All right, this is really cool. Now, Kickstarter has a thing about alcohol. So this is not a pint glass, but this is a tumbler. Isn't that cool? Look at this. It's great. It's 16 ounces, which I think is a pint. Over here we have, oh, what's this? It's not a shot glass. It's a mini glass. I think this is just enough for 1 to 2 ounces of your favorite non-alcoholic beverage. And what's up? Finally, not last but not least, we have our hand sanitizer. Look at that. So you can take that to conventions with you, and you can keep off the con crud. I've also got the bottle openers and the pins as well, which you've seen the bottle openers before. And the pins are a random assortment, so you don't know exactly which ones you're going to get, but they're all pretty cool. I forgot the stickers at home. I have stickers. They're super cool. They came out die cut. Very happy with that. So Kickstarter, thank you for being patient. I really appreciate your support. We're never going to forget about our Kickstarter folks. And I might have been 6 months late this time. Next time, I'll probably be late, but only by like 2 months, and so on and so forth until I finally get this right. So thank you. I'm going to tune in on YouTube. I've got some people asking some good questions here. Someone thought the winner was being announced right now. No, I have been getting this question. When am I going to announce the winner? As soon as possible, but I have a lot of reading to do, and I have not started yet because I wanted to avoid what's called a first impression bias. I did not want to be unfair to people who came in the campaign, so I waited. Let's see here. I've got some more questions on Facebook. Am I doing another Kickstarter this summer? Yes, I have an awesome project in the works. It's a comic book this time, a 24-page comic book called Fake News. It's a political conspiracy thriller that draws from today's headlines. I promise it's not preachy, but it is hopefully very exciting and very relatable, working with a fantastic artist named Jack Haynes. And the best part about Fake News is I'm going to give it away for free before the Kickstarter. I'm going to release 3 pages at a time for free, 1 a week, for 3 a week, for 8 weeks. So you can see if you love it. And if you love it, maybe you'll help me on Kickstarter, print it and back it and support it. And if you don't, at least you can join all the haters and write me more hate mail. Let's see. Yes, I have gotten hate mail, Sarah, and I don't understand it myself. I think it fits into a couple of categories. I actually want to address the haters in a little bit, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting on some of the stuff I promised you. I want to keep rolling with the value that I have here. We have a special guest star in the studio today. Very exciting. So I promised that I would tell you how to get free tickets to see Avengers Endgame. As you might know, Chimera's Comics rents a movie theater out at least once a year. Last year we did it twice for what we think are going to be the biggest releases. And we take our friends and family and customers and fans, and we take you all, our subscribers, we take you guys to see the movie for free. We take about 100 people every year. It's a blast. We go to Hollywood Boulevard where they have a full bar and restaurant. You can get a full meal with your movie. It's awesome. And it's the best way to watch the show because you're surrounded by people who get the inside jokes, who get the Easter eggs, you know, who cheer with you and who will cry afterward when Thanos snaps. That was nice to be around supportive people. I think it's a lot of fun and you should come with us. It's going to be opening weekend at Saturday morning. I don't know the time yet because they haven't scheduled the screenings yet. It's too far out, but I'll announce that at the time. How do you get your free tickets? Well, it's not a raffle. It's not a contest. It's not a drawing. There's no luck involved. You just need to come to Chimera's Comics in LaGrange or Oak Lawn this Sunday at our normal business hours. I think we're open noon to 5 on Sundays. And you get 2 free tickets with your purchase of $25 or more. That's it. Just make the purchase and you get the tickets. But I only have 25 pairs in each store. So only the first 25 customers in either store are going to get the tickets to Avengers. So I hope you can make it if you're local. I hope you come, get yourself some free tickets. I mean, if you're already the kind of person who likes comics and graphic novels, or you want to try something new anyway, you know, this is like getting all that stuff for free because I'm going to give you these movie tickets, and it's awesome. So I really hope that you come. It's a lot of fun. Aaron, yes, the stuff I showed is going to be for sale on our website and in the store. I just want to make sure the Kickstarter backers are getting theirs first. So Kickstarter backers, if you're local, you can come and pick up your rewards this weekend. And of course, if you're not local, we will ship them to you. That was never in question. It's just that since we have this place, we love it to see people in person, and thank you in person. Patrick Carroll on YouTube wants to know if the name of the store will have to change. The new owner will have the opportunity to become a licensee of Chimera's Comics. It is not mandatory. They are welcome to change the name. They are welcome to rebrand. Many people have told me they intend to, which is totally fine. This deal does not come with strings attached. But many other people said they want to be a part of the Chimera's Comics community. They want to be a part of our online community, enjoy the benefit of the shared marketing power, the shared buying power that comes with that. And in fact, so many people have shown interest in opening a comic book store in these last few weeks. And so many people have told me that they don't know where to start and need our help, that this might be something to the public very shortly. So if you're interested and you're serious about opening a comic book store, we may be able to help you. Even if I can't give it to you, I may be able to give you the next best thing. So moving back over to Facebook, I've got some questions. Trolls, potatoes gonna potate. That was funny. Michael Hilger, how are you? Nice to see you. All right, so we've talked about the Avengers tickets. I showed you the Kickstarter rewards. I promised you a tour of the store. I'm going to do that in a second. I thought I would. What do you guys want me to do? You want me to do a tour first, or do you want me to address the haters first? I don't know which is a thing that which you guys prefer. Anybody want to weigh in? Weigh in on YouTube. Weigh in on Facebook. I love making this conversational with people. So, hey, Rick. Rick just tuned in. Rick, I just sent out your copy of Magnificent. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. Hearing no color. All right. So bear with me because I'm going to carry this laptop around. All righty. Okay. I have to do it like this backward because otherwise I can't see if I've got the right thing in the camera. So, okay. So we're going to start at the front. This is the front door of Chimera's Comics. This is just painted. You can scrape this down. In fact, I encourage you to do so because it's been up for a while. It's seen better days. There is a cardboard cutout here of my character, Magnificent. There will be one here. This one's plastic. It's actually meant for me to take to conventions. There will be a cardboard one here. If you really don't want it, I guess I can find a better use for it, but I'd love it if the new owner of the store will continue to sell the Chimera's comics that I make and write and publish, and hope that that's a presence here in the store. The next thing we have is our kids section. So I'm going to try to actually I'm going to move away to from YouTube for a second. I can see better on Facebook. Okay, this is the kids section. This is right in the front of the store. It's up on a sort of a raised platform. And by the way, I will not be able to answer questions while I'm doing the tour. It's just too much type while I'm walking. This is already kind of risky. I didn't really think this through. The reason I'm showing you this kids section so proudly is because, one, it's very full, and there's a lot of shelves with it here. And that's very important because for a long time, comic book stores weren't doing that with their kids sections, I think, the right way. I think a lot of times comic book stores they would have a little spinner rack or something like that and would just kind of forget about it. But, you know, the kids are the future, our future readers. Our subscribers get older and they move on, and kids are the future. So there should be, I don't say that like as a platitude, I mean it literally. They're going to grow up and be our customers. So we should be having stuff that engages them at a young age. It helps kids read. It helps kids gain confidence and explore their imagination. That's why it's big and it's in the front of the store. I want it to be the first thing people see when they came in because I want this to be welcoming to everybody. Now, you could carry more mature comics than we currently do, but I still think the front of your store should not be Walking Dead and Vampirella, things that I might enjoy too, but I think they're things that maybe put off some members of the general public. I think the kid stuff is for everybody and should be shared with everybody. So over here, we have this soda machine, this gigantic soda machine here that also comes with the store. These things can be very, very expensive. So you should consider this part of the gift that comes with the store. We have our supply display here. Now, you know, bags and boards, that's like bread and butter for comic fans. It's the essential stuff. You got to have it to take care of your collectibles. So we have all that here as well. Now, over here, you can ignore the men in the background there. They're just guys, get off the camera. Anyways, the people came to see me. All right, you guys are just jealous. They all want my 15 minutes of fame. So this glass case we've got in the front, very versatile glass case. You could do whatever. We have pint glasses and banks in it. Again, you could put whatever you want it. It's a great spot for gaming stuff, which actually we do on the other side. Maybe we should switch them. I don't know. We're going to think it's not really my problem much longer.
Those aren't pint glasses. Those are tumblers.
Ah, tumblers. Yes, thank you. The peanut gallery has been paying attention. I dig it. Let's see here. We're going to keep moving on. Now, I'm going to give you guys a good look at the front counter. There's my wife. She's back there reading, supporting me. Yep. Y'all heard a lot about her this month. We're going to talk about that in just a minute too, by the way. But no, that's not dangerous. Carrying this laptop around the store is dangerous. So right by the front counter, I have the dollar books. You know, you want to have stuff near the front that's reasonably priced because it makes good impulse purchases. Dollar books are also the first thing people are looking for, so you want to make sure you have that handy. Over here is the cash wrap. So let's see if I can. I'm gonna try to do this so you guys don't want to have to look at my ugly mug over and over again. Oh man, I really did not think this tour thing through. I should maybe go to my phone and do this. All right, so front counter. This is pretty good. Okay, we have slot wall on the front counter for you to put merchandise. We don't have stuff right now because the J hooks we have can kind of poke people in the bean bag when they get too close to the counter. But if you got some flat J rack slot wall acrylics, they would lie pretty flush, and it would be a good place for other comic books as well. I'm going to go a little bit behind the counter with you here. You know, again, this is part of the whole thing of like, this is going to be somebody else's, so I got to be careful how much I show you of what is not going to be mine much longer. But I do want to get you a feel for what's going on here. We have these filing cabinets behind me that you can see there, and that's where we keep our subscribers. We have a lot of subscribers in there who get their comics from us every week. They're wonderful. They're your bread and butter. They're super loyal. They're really fantastic, and they make the Chimera's Comics community the kind of place where they entertain the kind of crazy nonsense that I do like this, because I think they understand that it's more than a comic book store that way. It's a community. I'm going to show you real quick here. We have the computer. It is a Mac Mini, and it runs a point of sale system that's proprietary to comic book stores. We have the barcode scanner. We have the receipt printer here. All of it's included. I'm giving it all to you. I'd show you under the counter where the computer is, but to be honest, my wires are kind of messy and I'm a little embarrassed. That might be the kind of thing you want to take care of. Over here we have, I'm going to go back a little bit here. The front of the store, we have a lot of gaming stuff here. We've got our Hero Clicks. We've got some Magic boxes. We've got Dungeons and Dragons books. Over here, I'm very proud of this. We have comic book sets. You know, sometimes instead of just having back issues for people to sift through, we repackage them like this, and we sell them at a discount, and people really like it because they can get an entire run that way. It's very nice. It makes things very accessible for new readers, so very proud of these. Let's see here. You can see I've got graphic novels all along the wall behind me here. This is the indie section. People have complained that we don't have as many indie books. I got to tell you, I respectfully disagree. Every one of these is a different title. So that means there's 7 per shelf, 21, 42, 60. There's over 150 different indie titles behind me right now. So that's a lot. And you can expand it, sure. But I could fill the store with just indie stuff and I still wouldn't have enough space. There's that many great comics out there. We do our best. Over here then is the Marvel section. We've got Marvel Comics behind me here, alphabetical. You know, I've experimented with having just all the comics alphabetical, but comic fans are unique in that we really do care that Marvel and DC remain segregated. That's very sad for fans because maybe you like Spider-Man, but maybe the new issue of Superman would catch your eye. But it's very good for Marvel and DC because they want you to only buy their stuff. So if all their stuff is together, you don't have to go to the other side of the store. But the store's not that big, so people can probably make their way over. We've got these glass shelves up on the wall, too, which I like. Oh, those are the key books, too. In the frames, we have key books. Here, this is a good angle. Awesome. So you can see up on the wall over here, there's books in frames. Those are some of our rarer comics that we keep in frames up on the wall. We've got these glass shelves as well here, where we've got some statues and things like that. We're featuring plastic statues that have come out that are more affordable because they're not made of resin. They're not as heavy. They're very, very popular, and they're very cool looking. Now, over here is our graphic novel collection. Again, there's a lot here. Any one of these, there's probably, you'd be surprised, there's probably over 50 books, maybe 100 books on any one shelf here. I'm not even kidding you. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about where, look, if you're going to start a comic book store from scratch, it would take tens and tens of thousands of dollars to buy all the stuff I just showed you, okay? So, I've had to keep to myself some financial diligence about the store for reasons I've already explained, but you need to understand this is a gift worth tens of thousands of dollars, regardless of anything else. I'm going to move on a little bit here. These are our back issues. This is a good area where you can improve. We could do a better job pricing them, sorting them, filtering them out, filtering in new stuff. I have plenty more back issues that come with the store that are not included here. They're included, but they're not here. And if I were doing a better job, I would be moving stuff out into the dollar bin once they don't sell, move new stuff in here and keep the cycle going. But I don't have the time. It takes a lot of devotion to do that sort of thing. And I think comic fans rightfully expect their store to have back issues like that. We've made a separate toy section now too, which I really love. We have this grid wall here that we finally filled up with toys. I think it looks really nice. Over here, pop figures we have in the back of the store. Tons of these behind me here, a whole wall of them. And then behind me we have, actually, to be honest with you, I would prefer these toward the front. I'm not even sure why they're back here because, again, they're very affordable and they're very attractive to new readers. These are like the true believers, or I forget what DC or the indies call them, but these are like dollar reprints of classic comics to get you interested, right? It's like, oh, I really want to try Captain Marvel. Let me try it for $1. What do I have to lose? And you don't. And then if you like it, you can go and get the graphic novel and stuff. So these are great for hooking new readers, Over here then is the DC section. Why can't I keep this thing straight to save my life? I have no idea what I'm doing. I wish there was a better way. There's got to be a better way. This is the DC section here. Not a lot to say about it. Comic books, it's a good deal. But over here then is another one of those glass cases I told you about. Again, we have more gaming stuff in here. This would be a good spot for Hero Clicks or Magic Singles. Another thing we don't do anymore that we should be doing, could be making us a lot of money and could make you a lot of money if you win Chimera's Comics. Remember, you only have 4.5 hours left to enter, and then the contest ends. And then the last thing I want to show you is in the middle of the store, we have these awesome waterfall displays. Very famously, I did not want to buy these because I thought they were stupid, because at the time they held maps in them, and I did not have the vision to see that you could put things other than maps in them. I like to consider that a moment of growth for me because I learned I was wrong. They're great. They have storage underneath, and then they have all this space for your graphic novels. And these are on wheels, right? And so's the back issue bin. So if you want to have gaming in the store, you want to set up tables and stuff like that, all this stuff can be moved. All of it can be rearranged at your whim whenever you want. There is tons of floor space behind me here. There's plenty of space for tables and chairs. We fit about 40 people in here, which is pretty sizable for gaming. And then you could probably fit more if you really put some of this stuff like in the back room, which we're going to see in a second. More dance floor space here. Behind me is the table I was at earlier. You know, there's plenty of space there, plenty of space in the front. So I'm going to show you in the back real quick. It's not much to look at, but, you know, I'm trying to be transparent here, and I don't want anyone to be like, he's hiding something. When you own your store, you're going to deal with this a lot. People are going to say, what do you got in the back? You got nothing in the back. Why would I keep stuff in the back that could be making me money? I don't keep the good stuff in the back. The back room's a closet, all right? We'll just keep stuff in it. It's kind of messy right now, to be honest with you. Here it is. We've got a lot of comic boxes back there that are empty. Got some grid wall and stuff, some frames, more boxes. It's mine, right? A lot of those chairs are my dad's. They got to come with me. They're not mine to give you. A lot of it is, sorry, I forgot the light. Some of my personal collection is in there. I'll probably take a couple of those boxes, but you know, for the most part, I'm gonna try to leave you a neater back room than that. I do not want to leave you a big old mess. So that, oh, here we got a great shot of the whole store right here. Pretty cool, huh? Not bad. So that is my tour. I will return to a stationary position so you guys don't get sick, and then I will answer some questions, and I can even go back and look at other parts of the store if you think that would be helpful. So let's see what we got. First, I'm going to go over to Kickstarter. We have the fewest people over on Kickstarter with us here, so I can do that quickly. I'm not seeing the chat come through, so if you're trying to reach me on Kickstarter, I'm sorry. I don't think anyone's commenting. Who do I got here? Tour. Oh, thanks, Nighthawk. I hope this is a good live stream. I try to keep them interesting. I hope you'll tune in for my next live stream. Danny Romero and I are planning. We've been planning for a little while. I want to do philosophy and comics. I was a philosophy major in college, and I'd love to talk to you a little bit about some of the philosophy that I see in the comic books I read. Let's see. Who else do we got here? Kevin O'Brien wants me to hate on the hate. Diane says I'm doing great. Thanks, Diane. What do we got? Rick says we need small tables or desks for kids. Yeah, that's a good idea. You have places for them to try. Diane O'Brien wants to know if my wife comes with the store. No, I'm sorry. You don't get to keep my wife. She is mine. But I do want to take this moment to say something about that. I have some advice for any of you who end up winning the store or who end up opening your own store one day, or maybe becoming a Chimera's Comics is a thing that I'm going to be able to offer soon. You know, you need a lot of skills to get this right. And I did it for a lot of years, and I wasn't always happy. And part of the reason is because I didn't have someone beside me who believed in me all the time. And when I met my wife, everything changed. And now I had somebody at home with me who loved me unconditionally, would believe in all of my crazy nonsense and support me through all of it, and cheer me on, and also help me think things through. And it gave me a sense of peace knowing that even if things didn't work out, when I got home, you know, she would always be there. And I encourage you, all of you, if you're going to do something grand like this, and if you're going to do anything grand with your life, it makes all the difference in the world having somebody with you who believes in you like that. So never, ever underestimate the value of that person. Don't ever take them for granted. So let's see. Ryan tuned in. How you doing, Ryan? Good to hear from you. Sarah wants to know if we tried selling T-shirts. Sarah, great question. We have. They sold great. I sold them all. Why don't I have them now? I'm not doing a good job staying on top of my ordering. Now, I have a plan for that in the next couple of weeks for Chimera's Comics LaGrange. I'm going to roll out something very, very cool. But, you know, it's a whole nother animal. You got to make sure you're getting things that are timely. You got to make sure you're getting a good size ratio. A full-time owner who can give this place the kind of attention that I can't, can stay on top of T-shirts, can make a lot of money that way with T-shirts. Great question, Sarah. Corey, thank you. I appreciate it. Choosing this is going to be one of the hardest things I've ever done. Eric Haverish, good to hear from you. Hi, Eric. Rachel wants to know how I got into writing. I got into writing at a very young age, and I don't know why. I think I just had a very active imagination. But I was very blessed that I had parents who were extremely supportive of me as well. I heard these song lyrics the other day that I thought were funny. It was something like I would have been messed up even if nothing bad ever happened to me. And I said that to my friend the other day. I said, Dave, what's the matter with us? I had a good childhood. How did I turn out so weird? But yeah, they encouraged me. And I wrote my first book when I was 8 years old. I was in 3rd grade and it was terrible, but God loved my parents, stood beside me, and I loved it, and I still have it. And I guess over the years, I just always had that creativity and that spark. And, you know, they call it in, I think Plato says this, that you can be, or maybe it's Aristotle, that you can become pregnant with an idea. And then that idea just like needs to leave you. You need to put it out there. You need to put it down somewhere. And that's what I did. Like I write stories because I have to, you know, I don't have a choice. Good question, though, Rachel. Thank you. Yes, Brian makes a good point. He says, I have an excellent support system. And that's what I mean to say when I'm talking about the value of my wife and the value of your partner is have a support system. Have friends that you can talk to for advice. Have a good accountant and a good lawyer. Have good customers that you can solicit feedback from. These are going to be a great source of information for you. So yes, have a support system. It's critical to everybody. Sam says having a supporter changed his life too. I mean, plugging things, but I'm doing this because people ask me. They're like, wow, you should write a book about this. And I really want to, because giving away the store in this dramatic way was a way to send a message. I wanted to spread some hope. And this is where I'm also going to take my chance to address some of the haters that are out there. First, a few questions from YouTube. Yes, Chimera is really my last name, my legal last name, and I did not change it. I was born with it. Nighthawk, also thank you for liking my shirt. You can buy it on chimerascomics.com in just a few days after our Kickstarter backers get their rewards. Michael wants to know, how do I plan on announcing the winner? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the winner. We're going to talk through the details, and then I'm going to try to talk them out of it. I'm going to try to scare them out of this. And if they can be scared out of it, then that's for the best. And if they say, I get it, I get the risks, I get the work, I understand how hard it's going to be, I want it, then it's theirs. I'm going to do a live stream to introduce you, and we're going to hold a grand reopening at the store. A lot of press have told me that they want to know when the winner is announced so that they can come, and I think that'll make a really great, successful event for them. We have a lot of cool events coming up and projects that I want to tell you about. But first, I promised I'd address some of the hate, and I want to do that now. I have avoided doing it so far because I don't think any good comes from getting down in the mud and fighting with people. And I definitely have very little respect for internet trolls because if you won't say it to me in person, then your opinion is kind of worthless to me. And some people say, well, I can't say it to you in person. I can't. It's on the internet. That's fine. But a lot of times I get this. Someone messaged me on my website and said, I'm going to tell everybody what kind of a scumbag you really are, and don't bother messaging me back. I won't respond. All right? So kind of like a drive-by. That's hilarious. I had a lot of people anonymously on Reddit come after me. So I went on Reddit to do an AMA, and they didn't show up. Nobody was there. It wasn't even just that they wanted to be anonymous. They just didn't even want to say it to me. So I'm going to write about this in the book as well, because when you do something great, when you do something big and you go after your dreams, there will always be people who would rather tear you down than dream big themselves. I wrote about this in Magnificent. That's the lesson he learns when he fights his first supervillain, is that, like, by putting on a costume and putting on a cape, you put a big target on your back and people come after you. The villain says to him, like, were you surprised? Are you surprised someone showed up to take you down a peg? So I'm not surprised. And the haters, they fall into one of a few baskets. First, there are people who genuinely are suspicious of what I'm doing. Now, to those people, I'm openly hoping for dialogue. That's why I keep opening myself up with live streams and AMAs and an in-person open house. Come to me. And many have. And many have given me the chance to explain and to hear me out. And to those people, I have tremendous respect. You do not have to like me for me to respect you. And I think a lot of those folks have good questions, because what I'm doing is unusual. And we're right to fear things that we don't 100% understand, because they could be a threat to us. Obviously, I'm talking about this competition here. I do not think that applies to people ever. You should not judge people that you do not know, and you should not judge people based on the superficial. But I can understand how, to somebody who does not know me and says, this guy's giving away tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff, what's his angle? Makes perfect sense. And that's partly why I did this competition, why I'm so excited to introduce you to a winner at some point, is because at some point in the very near future, because I want to show you, yep, I meant it. I mean every word of it when I tell you that you should live your life based on hope and dreams and not fear and hatred and suspicion. So taking down cynicism and suspicion was the first group of people, and I'm actually very happy for those people. The next group of naysayers are sour grapes. These people I feel really bad for, because these are the people, the exact people I'm talking about, who don't want to dream big, or think they can't dream big, or they're afraid to, and they get jealous and they want what you've got and they're not willing to work for it. Some people can overcome that. We've all, I think, had that experience. And, you know, part of growing up is in learning to overcome that. But that makes me really sad. And I hoped that this opportunity would prove something, that there's opportunities every day. They're not always grand as this, but they're around you all the time. And if you're open to possibilities, you can see that the world is a place of infinite possibility. Those people who feel sour grapes, I wish that they would try to listen to that message. And then there's people who have a personal grudge. I can't help that. I don't rub everybody the right way. I'm loud, I'm weird, and I'm all over the place. And I get it. Not everyone's going to like me. That's fine. I'm doing my best to live my life the way that I can be proud of, and to spread messages that I can be proud of. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I am, however, very sorry for these folks with personal grudges, because, like, your life is so much bigger than me, and you are making your life small by being upset about what I do with my life. Most of these folks, I have a zero strike policy. People I feel are toxic, I don't spend time with. You move on, you do other things. People who dwell, you're a prisoner of your own dislike. And so I hope sincerely for those folks that they can move on. Don't make your life small. Make your life big. Finally, one specific thing. I've had more than a few people tell me that Alternate Reality, a comic book store in Mount Greenwood, was upset with me. And I want to tell you, that's complete hogwash. Alternate Reality has coexisted with Chimera's comics for a long time. And I'm going to tell you a story about Alternate Reality right now that I hope clears this up a little bit. As many of you know who've been following me, one of the most important people in the world to me is my brother Nicholas, and he's been my best friend for a long time. And Nicholas has been helping me at the shop since he was 10. He learned the register faster than anybody else. Very impressive. And he was with me one day at Chimera's Comics LaGrange. And a man that I believe was the owner of Alternate Reality. We've never been formally introduced, but I believe it was him, and he definitely was from the store, and he had the hat, and he introduced himself as being from the store. He came in, and he bought some things, and he checked out, and he said to me, "Your helper is so nice, and he's so respectful. What a nice young man." I said, "Well, thank you very much for the kind words. I really appreciate that." And we shook hands. That is the most experience I've ever had with Alternate Reality. Somebody who is that nice and respectful of a child is a good person. And especially someone who does this for my brother is all right in my book. So any of this nonsense about a feud with Alternate Reality, I don't even want to hear about it. I don't pay attention to it. I think it's nonsense. I think Tim is a good guy, and I'm pointing generally in the direction of Mount Greenwood from where I'm sitting. I think he's a good guy. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would talk bad about us behind our back. He's got a very successful business, and you don't get that way if you spend your time worrying about what your neighbor is up to. You got to take care of your own backyard. There's plenty of room in comics for everybody. So I'm not trying to drum up a conflict with Alternate Reality, guys. I don't want to hear about it, really. He's a friend as far as I'm concerned. We don't know each other well, but he treated me as a friend. He treated my brother as a friend. So I'll address a few more questions, and then I'd love to tell you, if you hang out another minute or two, I'd love to tell you about the projects I'm working on. So I got some great stuff coming up. Rick says his wife is his partner in crime. Yes, that's a great partner to have. Absolutely. My friend Beth Gallagher just joined. Hi, Beth. Nice to see you. Robert wants me to make a comic about it. Robert, I'm not going to make a comic about it just yet, but I am making a Dimitri says, I don't have haters. I have fans in denial. Thank you. That's actually really cool. I might put that in my book. So yeah, I'm not going to do a comic about this yet. I am going to do a book about it, though. And I know everyone, again, the haters, oh, this is it. He's going to write a book about his, of course, this is what he was up to. This is not what I was up to. There were a lot cheaper ways I could have made a book than give away tens of thousands of dollars worth of comic books and furniture that I spent 6 years putting together. No, I'm writing a book because people have asked me. They want to know, what was the reaction like? You know, I mean, the reporters all want to know. The radio. I was on Talk Radio UK. I'm going to be on Radalt's podcast in Australia. I was in a German newspaper. Everybody wants to understand this. And I did this to send the message. If I just let it end, then that's the end of the message. If I write a book about this, there can be a legacy and spread this message of positivity and spread this message of possibilities to more people. And that's what I want to do. And I want to do that through my own work, my comic books. I think Magnificent is a lesson that all of us need to understand, that when you can no longer change your circumstances, you're challenged to change yourself instead. That's what Magnificent is about. And then even my horror stuff, which is maybe a little more gratuitous, still has in there things that I hope make you think about the world around you and about yourself. My graphic novel Cellar Door is coming out soon with 15 other super talented creators who worked on it together. It's an anthology, and it's all very Twilight Zone-y stuff, and I think you're really going to love it. Again, I said I'd deal with a few more questions before I pitch you some of my projects here. Sam says it's an innovative idea, and that has brought out doubt in people since forever. You've definitely inspired me. Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate that. Oh, Jason, live a why, not life. I like that. You know, it reminds me of my favorite line from the movie Rocky, when Rocky says to Mickey, you know, why are you being so rough on me all the time? And by the way, I could do the voices, but I'm going to spare you. And Mickey says, because you had the talent to become a great fighter, and instead you became a leg breaker. And Rocky says, it's a living. And Mickey says, it's a waste of life. I want you to try to remember those words. Aaron says, I earned your friendship by the answer of his question at the open house. Thank you, Aaron. That's why I'm really glad I had the open house. I was really glad for this experience to meet so many more wonderful people. Freddie says he sent me a private message. Thank you, Freddie. I'll try to get back to that. I can't do it during the live stream, and I have dinner plans after. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, before the midnight deadline. Levi, thanks for cheering me on. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited to be on Justin versus Justin. I'm going to be on this podcast. They're going to have Nick on, too. Thank you. Very excited about that. Also, speaking of podcasts, we're going to do a live recording in the store March 14th in LaGrange. We're going to have Eric Sakara over from the Mr. Honest podcast, and we're going to do it live. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, something we've wanted to do for a long time. Let's see here. How soon do I plan on turning over the shop? I mean, I would like to do it as soon as possible. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read all these essays. I'm a fast reader, but that's not what you want, and you deserve better. You deserve somebody who's going to give you the consideration you deserve. You spend a lot of time on those essays. I'm going to spend a lot of time thinking about them, a couple of days at least, maybe longer then to work out the deal with the winner. If you don't hear right away, it does not mean you are not the winner. And if you don't hear right away, it does not mean that you might not still win. If the winner is somebody who then decides they don't want to do this after I talk to them, I will call runners up until I have somebody. So let's see here. Over on YouTube, I've got some more questions. How many entries? Well over 600 now. I haven't checked in a little bit, but it's been pouring in today because everybody knows the deadline is in just 4 hours and 15 minutes. So anyways, if you haven't entered, you should really enter now. I'm so excited regardless for whoever wins. One heck of an opportunity. Thanks, Rogerio. Thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate that very much. Ken, never stop dreaming. Absolutely. Have I tried the Ditka dog at Fat Tommy's in Mount Greenwood? What food is good by my store? I have not tried the Ditka dog, and I've not heard of Fat Tommy's. I don't live far from Mount Greenwood, so thank you for the recommendation. What food is good over here? Well, I'll tell you what. My favorite restaurant in Oakland is Palermo's. As with every Italian restaurant in the city, I know the owner, of course, but it's a great place. I love pizza, so if you want, a more reasonable meal with your family, order pizza, have it delivered. Also, some of the nicest Italian food around, so you could also have a really nice date night there. Love Palermo's. Also, there's a place called Hakuna Matata that's new down the street. If you're looking for something a little more short order, they have like falafel and Mediterranean stuff. And I love Rosie's. Rosie's on Cicero, about 103rd and Cicero, gyros, things like that, fried zucchini, thumbs up. That's right, for gamers at the store, you'll have Jersey Mike's not a block away for sandwiches, so that's awesome as well. And, of course, Nona's Pizza, where I always went when I worked at 10th Planet back in the day. I'll take a few minutes to tell you about some of the yes, Eric and Bree love Palermo's. That's what I want to hear. I want to take a few minutes to tell you about what's coming up next. So this Sunday, you can get free tickets to see Avengers. Just stop into Chimera's Comics, LaGrange, or Oak Lawn. 2 free tickets with your purchase of 25 or more. It's not a raffle. It's not a contest or a drawing. We're just going to give you the tickets. I don't have physical tickets. We'll take your name and number down. We'll know the show time when we get a little bit closer. We'll take your email, and that's how I'll keep in touch with you is via email. Tons of fun. You got to come to our private screening. All of this Chimera's Comics merch that you see here is going to our backers. We're going to have it available for pickup this weekend, as well as shipping them out, and then it will be available to the public on our website as well. The next thing we have coming out is Cellar Door. It's with the printer now. It's going to take some time for them to get it back to me. It's a new printer I'm working with, but it's one that I think we're going to work with long term. So I thought it was worth the delay this time. But Cellar Door is a horror anthology, H.P. Lovecraft, Twilight Zone-y stuff. It's available for pre-order right now on chimerascomics.com. I hope you check it out. We raised over $12,000 on Kickstarter for it. I think it's going to be huge. I love every creator and every story in it. I personally curated the collection. I wrote 3 of the stories. Love it. Love it. Beautiful artwork. Fantastic. Proud to have worked along so many other creators. The next thing I'm working on is a political conspiracy comic book called Fake News. It's about a government that creates a space force to fight a war in the stars that may or may not be real. And it follows a few people, a reporter, a soldier, and a White House staffer who are trying to get to the bottom of this. And again, it's obviously drawn from today's headlines, but it's something that I don't mean to be preachy. I think it's going to be very engaging. It's sort of my attempt to do 24, my favorite show. And I hope you all check it out. I'm going to give it away for free. 3 pages at a time for 8 weeks. And if you love it, there will be a Kickstarter at the end to help me bring it to life. I believe in it so much, I'm paying to create it out of pocket before I do a Kickstarter because that's how awesome I think it's going to be. I wrote a book about the Great Comic Shop Giveaway, also available for pre-order now on chimerascomics.com. It'll be available on Amazon soon. I'm going to hopefully spread a message of hope. Hopefully my book is something that will help you unlock your potential and take down, more specifically than all this generic self-help crap. I want my book to do one thing. I want it to help you look at your life and challenge the limits that you've put on yourself, because most of the limits are limits we put on ourselves. That's what I want my book to do. It'll be in the context of this giveaway. There'll be a little bit about the history of Chimera's Comics in there that I think is important too, some of my philosophies. Some of the best responses I got for essays will be in there with the permission of the authors. I will also have some of the more inspirational comments I've received. I'll talk about dealing with hate. I'll talk about dealing with the press. I think it's going to be great. So that's all coming up. The next thing I'm super excited about, this is the first time I'm announcing it to the world. It's going to be available next week, and I think this is the next big thing I'm doing. This is the thing that might change comic books again, right? I think this was something that people are going to remember, and I think this next thing is something you're going to remember. It's called Comic Shop in a Box. I am starting a monthly graphic novel subscription service. We will handpick graphic novels and send them to you once a month for only $20. It's going to come in an awesome box, and it's going to have little surprises in there from around the shop because I want to capture that magic of exploring a comic book store. I want you to have something to look forward to. I think you deserve to have something to look forward to every month. I don't think it's a replacement for comic book stores because it's just the one book. Hopefully it's stuff that gets you to try something new, or a classic that you never got around to reading, or something hot that maybe you wanted to check out. It's going to be good stuff. I have an enormous collection of 9,000 graphic novels that I'm drawing from for this. Best of all, there's going to be prizes. We're going to give away prizes every month. And in the first month, one of the boxes is going to have a $200 comic book in it. I'm going to put in the first Carol Danvers Miss Marvel in there. Her first appearance as Miss Marvel, I'm going to give to one of the subscribers of Comic Shop in a Box. So I hope you'll check it out. You'll start seeing stuff for it soon. I'm very excited. I hope you'll give it a chance. I don't think it's bad for comic book stores because I think it's something that maybe will get you to say, hey, I really like this. I want the next one, or I want the one before it, or I want to check out stuff like this. It broadened my horizons. I think it's a great thing to look forward to every month, to see that cool box that's going to come in the mail and wonder what's inside of it. You know, it'll be a graphic novel, so this isn't some Loot Crate thing you bought at the Comic-Con where they just put a bunch of junk in there. You're going to get a book every month, and I will put in extra stuff. I will put in buttons or lanyards or keychains to surprise you as things, free comics, as things go on. But at the core, you're always going to have that book, and I think that's what sets it apart from a lot of the subscription services you see out there. I'm very excited about that. Let's see here. That's what's coming up. I have more. I'm working on the prequel to Magnificent. I've got plans for 24-hour Comics Day that you are not going to believe. I'll be on the news for that too. Let me tell you what. Right now, what I'm planning for 24-hour Comics Day will be big. Maybe not this big, but it'll be big. So I don't want to overwhelm you all at once. I'm also doing a lot of convention appearances this time. My brother and I have a dozen dates, including the Schaumburg Library this weekend. They're all regional, though. So if you're from around the country, not yet. I'm going to work my way up to doing New York, Emerald City, Motor City, some of these other bigger cons that are around. Love your suggestions where I should go, but we'll be there signing and selling Magnificent, the Crusader, all these other great things. So we're coming up on the end. I'm going to take a few more questions, and then I'm going to say goodnight to you folks here. But remember, you only have another 3 hours to apply for the contest. No, 4 hours to apply. Steven Martinez says, Nona's is great. Yep, love it. Always very filling. Has a shelf life of about 30 seconds. One time my friends and I went and got it. As we crossed 95th Street, my old Buick Regal ran out of gas because I was broke and I was 16 and I ran on fumes all the time. And it just coasted to a stop. And we all looked around. We were like, well, we got to eat the pizza first, right? Before we deal with this, because this is gonna lose its appeal in a minute here. So we all sat in my car, broke down on the side of the road, eating donuts. Me and Tim Arundel and Tim McElvain, my old partners in crime. Let's see here. Blake says, how can I pick a winner without a bank's approval? Why would I need a bank's approval? A bank doesn't own this store. Yeah, nope. Justin Cooper wants me to do C2E2. Justin, we've done C2E2 a couple of times as a store. I did not apply in time for Artists Alley for Chimera's Comics. We might be there as a booth, as a store, but I won't be there as a publisher. I feel strongly, after having failed at the Northwest Indiana Con, to combine the two. We had a good con, but I did a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I did it both not as good. I should have, frankly, had a booth in the dealer section and an Artist Alley table. So we'll see. We'll see about C2E2. Definitely next year. Definitely next year for C2E2. Blake, why? I don't know why the winner's credit matters. I'm just giving them the store. They don't have to buy this store from me. The bank does not own this. There's no bank that owns the store. I don't have like a mortgage on the store. I'm just going to give it away. I'm not quite sure I understand your question, Blake. I guess to an extent that you'll need a credit check, maybe with a distributor, probably. That's a good point from my wife. Thank you very much. That's not. I'm not doing that. I can't give you my Diamond account. Even if I wanted to, they make you start an account, do a credit check. But I don't need to do that to give you the store. And if you can't get the account, that is a condition of getting the prize. So in that sense, I guess there's a credit check. But I'm gonna try to let Diamond work that out. Paul says the counter in Hawaii says there's 8 hours left. I think the midnight count is relative to each time zone. Huh. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Well, I guess you folks over in the West Coast in Hawaii get a little bit more time. Not really more time. You got your time shifted because you would have had less time at the beginning, I guess. You would have been sleeping. That's pretty cool. Oh, was it Paul? Is that how you say it? Pal? Anyways, Mr. Gasp, thanks very much for that. That's cool. What do my wife and brother think of the contest? My wife, you should have heard her reaction. She was like a saint. She's like, "Are you sure about this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay." That's how supportive she is. I know you might say maybe she's a bit of an enabler, but those of you who know my wife know she's a debater, and we argue about everything. It's not arguing is not the same as fighting. Arguing is a style of approaching a problem together, and lawyers and debaters happen to do that in the same way. My wife helps me tease out details of things like this and unpack that stuff. So she's not an enabler, but she was super supportive. Nicholas, I don't know. I guess I've not really heard what he thinks about it. He has told me how cool he thinks all this is and how cool he thinks the press is. And I think, I was really proud of my dad's response. My dad is also, well, he was an attorney. Now he's a judge. And he's very, very conservative about most things. But he also believes in people the way I do. I think that's where I got it from. And when I told him why I wanted to do this, he said, "I think it's great. I think it's wonderful that you would do this for somebody else and send this message out there." So I think generally people are very proud. The people who know me and the people who know why I did this and understand why. Robert wants to know about the landlord. Yes, as a condition to the prize, if you read the terms and conditions, you will need to reach a lease agreement with the landlord. That's not a thing I can give to you. And if you cannot reach an agreement with the landlord, I will move on to a runner-up and see if the runner-up can reach that lease. But that is not something I'm too worried about. I think it's going to be fine. Rick wants to know if I can hire you to be your collectibles merchandise manager. Rick, if I could afford to have a whole nother corporate position like that, maybe when there's a lot of different Chimera's comics, but I don't think it's in the cards right now. Unless you want to be just like my consigliere, if you know what I'm talking about, I might be opening for that. Paul rhymes with ball and wall. Okay, good deal. Sorry, Paul, just unusual spelling. Blake wants to know, but if the store has debt, you don't think that would affect the winner if they already have bad credit? The store is not going to come with any debt. Any ongoing obligations come with us and stay with LaGrange. Any debt that we have is like the phone bill is open, or like what you have Diamond owes, or whatever. Like businesses sometimes take on loans to buy inventory or things like that. Any of those larger ongoing obligations are part of a 5-10 year plan. That's all staying with LaGrange. This store is not coming with that. Part of the agreement that I'll strike with the new owner is that I will indemnify them against any of that, so that if anybody does come thinking this is Chimera's Comics or the same Chimera's Comics, they'll be able to say, "Nope, it's over there." Let's see here. No, Blake, I don't think you're being a dick. I just don't understand your questions. I understand maybe not being involved in small business, how it seems like the only way to do it is to just get a bank loan, and then the bank probably would have a say in the matter. Please don't apologize. I'm sorry if I sounded harsh or impatient. I just didn't understand the question. Check on Kickstarter real quick. No comments over here on Kickstarter. Anybody got anything to say? No? Okay. And then over on YouTube, we got a couple other people. Vito and Nix. Yep, good choice. Whatever else happened in this contest inspired me to write an essay, think about opportunities I want to pursue in my life. You're welcome, Patrick, and thanks for saying it. That's why I did this. It reminds me of that Doctor Who episode, Vincent and the Doctor, where the Doctor explains to Amy at the end that like a person's life is a pile of things that happen to them, and it's a pile of good things and a pile of bad things. And maybe, what I tried to do with this contest is what Vincent did what the Doctor did with Vincent. Maybe I just added a little bit to the good pile for a lot of people. It would be cool for the new owner to have the same contest 10 years later. That would be awesome. We'll see what happens. Over here it says, awesome. Living in a rural area, subscription services save a lot of time. Thank you. I hope you sign up for Comic Shop in a Box. That's exactly the kind of need I'm looking to fill. ASIN, is ASIN really something? I mean, I don't do like, it's anime mostly, right? And I don't really do anything like that. I sure would love to. I think about ASIN, Kenneth. And what's the closest Comic Con by Oaklawn? I mean, there's a lot. The Oaklawn Fan Fest, Oaklawn Public Library does a fan fest. C2E2 is the closest biggest one. I told you I wasn't going to tell you all my secrets, but because I don't want to overwhelm you, I'm actually organizing a Comic Con right now. So stay tuned for that. That's going to happen too. But that's going to be like end of the year plan. That's why I didn't mention it. So that's it, folks. It's 8 o'clock. I have dinner plans coming up. I've answered your questions. I've given you a tour. I've told you that you can win tickets to Chimera's comics or private screening of Avengers if you come in this Sunday. I showed you the awesome merch we have coming to our Kickstarter backers and coming to the stores and the internet next week. Told you about Comic Shop in a Box, fake news, other projects I'm working on, Cellar Door. Most of all, I hope I got to know some of you. I hope I gained some of your trust. I hope I gained some of your attention for when I do these extra projects. John asks, what am I going to do with all my free time when I'm done doing interviews everywhere? Well, no, I'm going to keep doing interviews because then I'm going to become a famous author with my spare time. Let's see here. Aaron says he's upset I didn't write on it. When I didn't write on your timeline? I thought I sent you. I forgot. I didn't write on your timeline, Aaron, because I want to tell everybody. Everybody, it's Aaron Murphy's birthday today. Happy birthday, Aaron. I was waiting. Thank you for reminding me. I was waiting to do it on the live stream. I had a lot to cover tonight. I haven't stopped talking for an hour. Kevin says, see you Sunday. Thank you. Sarah says, enjoy dinner. Thank you. It's Ossobuco night at Palermo's. And all right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you pay attention to our future projects. I hope this is not just a, love me and leave me kind of thing. This kind of craziness is the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to change the world. I want to change it through entertainment. And it's not always going to be this dramatic. Sometimes it will be. I hope you give me a chance. So thank you. And if you didn't already enter, please, you have 4 hours left unless you're in Hawaii, in which case you have a time machine. You can enter for like the next 8 hours. Thanks very much. Good night. Going off of YouTube now.